this might be a bit of an emotional video. Hey folks, it's Finn. Welcome back folks, lovely to see you. So today's video is a bit of a personal update because as you can see, I have some very exciting news to share with you. So most of you know that with COVID happening, I graduated a little bit early, but I was having to wait for my final degree and to see whether all of the issues around COVID had affected my degree. And I've received the news at last, and I'm really excited to tell you that I have graduated with a first degree honours. So yes, I am now a proud postgraduate with a BSc Hons Open degree majoring in psychology, and I am just so overwhelmed. There's just so many emotions coming out today, which is why I wanted to make a video, because you know, this graduation is such a big deal for me. It has taken me almost 10 years to get my degree. I'm studying with the Open University, which means it's so much more flexible. But this is such a big deal because this is the accumulation of 10 years of hard work and also the end of an era for me in many ways. So I'm going to get quite emotional through this, I think. So bear with me. Ending my degree is also coinciding with a lot of anniversaries. I've just graduated after it taking me almost 10 years to get a degree. I'm now, this month, 2 years from finishing my gender transition. On the 17th of this month, I will be 10 years clean and sober. So all of this is happening at such an important time. It's just like this is the accumulation of 10 years come to fruition. And most of you have been following this journey right from back when I was this tiny, shy, not very confident, little self-belief.
Hi guys, it's Finn.
Can you believe that was me? And it all started on the back of me getting clean and sober. I went into recovery in 2010. And then in 2011, you know, I thought, I'm a few months into recovery now. What can I do? You know, I need to be careful about my sobriety. And I discovered the Open Uni and I thought, you know what, I'm going to give this a go. But then I came out as transgender. And so I thought, can I really manage to maintain my recovery and my problematic mental health and go through transition while studying? And I really didn't know if I could manage that. But this is where the Open Uni is so amazing because it's been flexible with me all the way through. When I've needed to pause because of mental health or gender transition stuff, I've paused. When I needed to bank scores and stop a module and start again, I've done that. You know, this is what I say all the time, it's progress, not perfection. Sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly, it doesn't matter. As long as we keep walking, you can't help but get somewhere. I told you this is going to get emotional. So yeah, to now be finishing my degree, and not just finishing, coming out with a first degree. When 10 years ago, I was making plans to end my life. I'd had enough. I tried to get well and never managed it. I did warn you this would be emotional. So yeah, the me in 2011 was very early days in starting to believe in myself. You know, I'd gone from thinking, I've had enough, I'm going to end my life, to then getting clean and sober and having a glimmer of hope. And I just dared to dream that life could be better, hence the OU. And then discovered I was trans, you know, and so to be in such a different place now, my goodness, this 10 years has been incredible. Sorry, I'm actually finding the end of my degree to be more emotional than finishing my gender transition in a lot of ways, because, you know, this has been such a journey. And I started with the OU just because I wanted to do something with my time. At the time I wasn't even sure if I'd get a degree, I just wanted to do something useful, and I knew I couldn't return to a brick uni because that would have been way too problematic with the drinking culture that I would have sucked myself into. And you know, I just wanted something to fill my time, and because it's been flexible, I've just literally done it the same as I do my life, one day at a time, one module at a time, and here we are. So yes, it is a very emotional thing to now be stood here thinking, okay, this is the end of my degree, but also the end of transition, and also these 10 years of recovery, and now I'm free just to go into the world and be me. You know, I've got nothing holding me back anymore, and it's just so emotional. This video is mainly just going to be me being overwhelmed and sharing my tears with you. I've had so many kind messages from people who have followed right from the beginning, from that kind of really shy, lost person that I was then, and watched me build this life over 10 years. And you know, I remember back when I was in therapy years ago and we were asked to write a letter to our future selves. And I couldn't write it. I really just could not imagine myself being anywhere. And if I was, I couldn't imagine my life being very good. And I just didn't do that task. But when I started recovery, although it was one day at a time, I did start to kind of think, oh, I could have this amazing future. But never in a million years did I think that my future would look like this. With the OU, it isn't just that I've gone through and got qualifications. I've actually really grown as a person through the experience of studying with the OU. It is because of the OU that I discovered flexibility. I couldn't manage 9 to 5 routines because of my mental health. And I used to feel really bad about that and just feel like I was never going to succeed. But I realised that if I just did things differently, worked differently, did different hours, made things flexible, then I could be successful as well. I'll put a link up to a blog I made recently about the way I use flexibility. And learning about that has then taught me how to manage my life, and it's brought up all these new ways of being and having a business. It's precisely because of the OU that I've actually developed this business of mine. You know, it was because the OU's taught me to think creatively that when I was faced with a bit of a life change, I went, you know, what can I do? I'm already enjoying YouTube, I'm already enjoying writing. Let's see if we can make this a career. And it's given me the confidence to go out and write, and I've got a book about to be published, and I'm doing more and more public speaking. I'm getting paid professional rates for it, and now I'm looking at new adventures I can do in this business of mine. And that was not a state of being that I'd ever imagined myself being in. I could never imagine myself as a business owner, as a person with a degree. That happened to other people, you know, not me. And now look at me, you know. And I share this because if I can do it, anyone can. There is nothing special and different about me. I've just had the oomph to go, do you know what? I'm going to do something different. If I want something different in my life, then I've got to do different things. And I just did that one day at a time. And one day at a time, miracles happen. I mean, look at me, 10 years later. I have gained so much more than a degree. You know, it's been a huge part of my well-being recovery. And I never would have planned for that in a million years. And also, I've been very lucky with the OU to be one of the OU's ambassadors. And oh my goodness, the journey I've had with that, you know, all the filming for Channel 4 and the advert and working with Anna Richardson and all the other really exciting adventures because of being with the OU. I'll link you up to some of the adventures I've had, and that's been incredible. You know, it's been such an amazing journey. If I look back at my brief couple of years at a brick uni before it went wrong, it was never like this. This whole journey has just been about learning actual stuff, learning personal stuff, personal development. It's just been incredible, it really has. So, you know, as well as this video being about me just sharing with all of you who have followed this journey, I wanted to share this moment with you, but also really wanted to give a massive plug for the OU, not just because I'm an ambassador, but because I really mean it. For people who need to do things differently, for whom going to a brick uni isn't possible because they haven't got the right grades or whatever, the Open Uni is amazing for giving people opportunities that might not necessarily be able to have them otherwise. I love it. I love how flexible it is around life. I love the community. I love the skills you get for life that you don't always necessarily get at a regular brick uni. The kind of learning time management, learning to kind of really motivate yourself when you're sat on your own, learning to be resourceful of the way you do work and the way you work with others. You know, there's so much. So it's a real plug for the OU as well. But more than anything today, I just wanted to share this with you all because you have all been so amazing in just following this journey over these last 10 years. And over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to make a couple more videos because I want to mark the 2 years of ending my gender transition. I also want to mark my 10 years clean and sober. But it is just one of those times where I'm stood now and just going, how on earth did I get from there to here? It is absolutely phenomenal. It really, really is. So yeah, here I am, a very proud first degrees honour student. And what's next? Well, I would like to go on to do a master's at some point, but I'm going to take a year off before I do anything. I want the COVID stuff to settle down and all of that really before I do anything else. But in terms of what I'm doing with my degree, now I've shared over these last 10 years as my plans have changed. Most of you will remember that I always planned to be a counsellor, and then towards the end of my degree I was still finding my mental health was a bit problematic and I thought I couldn't really do that, which is why I changed my last module, and I'll put a link up about that, to be creative writing, because that's matched with my writing a book. Another great thing about the OU, you can change your degree. But now at the end of my degree and thinking very differently, I actually really still want to work one-to-one with people. So what I'm now looking to do as another arm of what I offer in my business is I'm going to launch myself as a coach and mentor and a consultant. So keep an eye out for a video that's coming up about that. I'll share more in more detail later on. But yes, that's what I'm looking at now. Now that I have this degree, I'm looking at launching into coaching and mentoring. So I'm very excited of this new adventure now, as I'm just free to go off in the world in so many different ways after just this amazing 10 years. So yeah, this is the most waffly video you've had for a while. Oh folks, thanks for sticking by me just watching these 10 minutes of me just going, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Had to just share it raw with you. I just wanted to just share it because, oh my goodness, how blessed am I to have all of you walk this journey with me. How blessed am I that this thing on here is now becoming my full-time thing, you know? Life is just incredible, it really is. So yeah, thanks for watching folks. More updates coming soon on other anniversaries and new adventures. If you haven't already, please do subscribe, which you can do here, and I'll also link you to a playlist of my other videos. Take care of yourselves, see you next week.